Hi, I'm Dr. Ken Berry, family physician with 20 years of experience taking care of patients every day in my office. Today, I want to give you an update on PCOS and to let you know there is hope. There is new research out that I think is going to blow you away, and I want you to watch this video to the very end so that you can understand how convenient it is to reverse your polycystic ovarian syndrome symptoms with this technique. So many women with PCOS think that they're doomed to a lifetime of PCOS symptoms. They get worse and worse as you get older, and doomed to years of taking expensive prescription medications that can have a long list of possible side effects. But you have to understand there's absolutely hope for improvement. There's hope that you can reverse your PCOS. There is hope that you can reclaim your health. There's new research out that's published now that I'm going to go over in this video. And at the end of this video, I'm going to tell you what you can do as soon as this video is over to start to reclaim your health and reverse your PCOS symptoms. Now, if you enjoy videos like this, please take 1 second and click the subscribe button and the little bell right beside it so that every time there's new research or I have a bright idea, you'll be one of the very first people to know. You may have been told in the past more than once that PCOS is a condition of your ovaries are covered with cysts, you've got too much androgenic hormone, too much testosterone, it's your genetics. There's nothing we can do. We can give you 1 or 2 or 3 prescription medications. The doctors always say something nebulous like, you need to exercise more and lose weight. Well, duh, don't we all? That doesn't really help you any. So in this video, I'm going to tell you about this study, what they did in this study to help reverse every single measurement and symptom of PCOS using a specific technique. And then at the end, I'm going to tell you how you can replicate this and actually have better results than they did in this study. Now, let's look in this study and let's talk about this. And I want you to understand exactly what they did and what the results were. So this was an Italian study done by researchers from 3 different Italian universities, the University of Padua, the University of Murcia, and the University of Verona. They took 14 overweight females with a clinical diagnosis of PCOS, and they put them on a specific diet. Now, they call this diet a Mediterranean ketogenic diet. But when I dug into the research, it's a Mediterranean style low carb diet. The carbohydrate intake is not low enough to call it a ketogenic diet. And that's a little foreshadowing of how I'm going to tell you how you can use this type of diet to get even better results than the ladies in this study got. And so what they did, they're still afraid of meat at these universities, and so they had the ladies drink protein shakes. So basically they could eat an unlimited amount of keto-approved vegetables, and they gave them, and they could eat a little bit of meat, but mainly they got their protein in the form of these protein shakes. I don't recommend that, but that's how they did this study. They also gave them various phytonutrients and minerals and vitamins. But if you eat a proper, real, whole food ketogenic diet, you can get all those vitamins and minerals without having to take a supplement. And so they put these ladies on this diet, and they followed them for 12 weeks of eating this Mediterranean low-carb diet with protein shakes and some supplements. And you're going to be blown away with what just this kind of what I would consider a half-hearted ketogenic attempt. They had amazing results in their numbers. In this study, they actually checked a lot of different biomarkers and then also a lot of blood work, which makes me very happy. I like it when you check that kind of stuff before the study begins and then after a given period of time of doing the intervention. That's an excellent way to do a single-arm study like this. And so before these ladies started this low-carb Mediterranean diet with protein shakes and supplements, they checked their weight, they calculated their body mass index, their BMI. They used a DEXA scan to find out what their fat body mass was and their lean body mass was. Then they drew blood work, they checked their glucose, their insulin, they calculated their HOMA-IR, which is an indication of how insulin resistant you are, and that's very important for PCOS. They checked a lipid panel, they checked a free and total testosterone, they checked a progesterone, they checked an estradiol, they checked an LH, or luteinizing hormone. They checked an FSH, or follicle stimulating hormone. They also checked a DHEAS, which is a lab checking adrenal function. They checked their sex hormone binding globulin, an SHBG, and they also calculated their Ferryman-Gallwey score, which is a score doctors use to detect how hirsute you are, basically how much inappropriate body hair you have. And you know, with PCOS, you can have inappropriate body hair in more amounts than you should have, and in places that you shouldn't have hair. You can have hair with PCOS. And so they used this score to calculate just how bad their body hair situation was. Now, what did they find? Check this out. They found that in these 14 women, after 12 weeks of doing a low-carb Mediterranean diet, which they call keto, the average woman had lost 9.4 kilograms, which is right at 20 pounds. With this half-hearted ketogenic diet, they lost 20 pounds in 12 weeks. That's pretty nice. And this was weight loss across the board. Some women lost more, some lost less, but they all lost weight. But here's the important thing. I'll get to in a minute. Their BMI score went down an average of 3.3 points, which is huge. If you know your BMI now, just imagine subtracting 3.3 from that number. That would be pretty nice. They decreased their fat body mass by 8.3 kilograms, which is, 16, 17 pounds. They did have a decrease in their lean body weight or lean body mass, but it was only a quarter of a kilogram or a third of a kilogram, which is not much at all. And if they had done keto right, they would have had no loss of lean body mass. Lean body mass is your muscle mass, your organs, your fascia, your tendons, your cartilage, and your bone density. Those are the things that make up lean body mass. And as you may or may not know, when you lose weight, you're not really wanting to lose weight. You want to lose fat because you want to keep your bone density and your lean muscle mass. You want to keep all that. And these ladies only lost a third of a kilogram of their lean body mass. That's also huge. They lost a 3/5 of a kilogram of their visceral adipose tissue. So this is the very most dangerous fat that you accumulate inside your liver and pancreas and inside your abdominal cavity. They lost quite a bit of visceral adipose tissue as well. They checked all their labs again, and they did a DEXA scan again, and they calculated all these numbers after the 12 weeks of doing what they called a ketogenic Mediterranean diet. Every single lab result went in the right direction. Every single hormone, every number on their lipid panel, their insulin level, their blood glucose, their calculated HOMA-IR, their insulin resistance score, every single one of these moved in the healthy direction by just doing this half-hearted ketogenic diet for 12 weeks. And so that's what they did. Now, everybody watching this that has already used a ketogenic diet to reverse your PCOS, I want you to put your story in the comments, because there are so many young women out there suffering from polycystic ovarian syndrome, and they think there's no hope. And I want you to give them hope by telling your story of how you reversed your PCOS symptoms in the comments below. Now, let me tell you how you can get even better results than the ladies in this study. What I want you to eat is an actual ketogenic diet, but I want you to eat a real whole food ketogenic diet. I don't want you to buy any products with keto in the name, okay? I want you to eat lots of fatty meat, and this fatty meat can be either seafood, it can be fish and crustaceans and mollusks from the ocean, or it can be fatty red meat. It doesn't matter, but that's where you're gonna get your protein. You're not gonna drink protein shakes. I want you to eliminate all sugar from your diet, definitely all added sugar, and then most of the naturally occurring sugar. I want you to remove all grains from your diet: wheat, rice, oats, corn, millet, amaranth, quinoa, rye. All of these things turn immediately to sugar when you digest them, but they're also inflammatory, which I'll talk about in a minute. I want you to remove all industrially produced vegetable seed oils like canola oil and soybean oil, any vegetable shortening, because these are very inflammatory to your body, and that can actually make your PCOS symptoms worse. And I want you to keep your total carbohydrate intake, not your net carbohydrate intake, but your total carbohydrate intake under 50 grams of carbohydrates a day. If you do that, you're going to have amazing results, even better than the women in this study, because they weren't doing a full bore ketogenic diet. They were doing kind of a half-hearted one. Also, don't use keto shakes. Don't use protein shakes. Eat real meat. Protein shakes might have protein. However, we don't know how much of that protein is actually absorbable and bioavailable for use by your body, because you don't know where that protein came from. But if you're eating real meat, or whether it's from the sea or whether it's from the pasture, you know you're getting protein that's 100% usable by your body, because our species has been eating that for 200,000 years. Our body knows exactly how to get that protein out. And when you eat meat like that, you're getting all the vitamins and minerals that naturally come in that meat. You need all those for optimal health. So now you know your PCOS symptoms are not coming from your genetics or from some unknown cause, or you've got too much androgen hormone. It's coming from eating too many carbs, which keeps your insulin level chronically high. And the combination of too much sugar and too high of a chronic insulin level leads to inflammation in your body. And so by removing the things I told you about earlier, that's going to reduce both your carbohydrate intake and the level of chronic unhealthy inflammation in your body. Removing those things and eating more fatty meat. And if you want to eat quite a bit of green leafy veg, that's fine. Just keep your total carbohydrate intake under 50 grams a day, and you'll have even better results than the women in this study had. Now, if you want to learn more about keto, because you're like, wait, keto, what's that? I've got a Keto 101 playlist. It's got over 60 videos in it that you can watch for free. At the end of this video, a little click button will pop up here or here, and you can click on that and start to learn how to do keto right, so you don't waste a lot of time and you don't waste a lot of money on stuff that's not really going to help you. Please share this video with every friend of yours who's overweight or has PCOS. A lot of young ladies have undiagnosed PCOS because it's just not on their healthcare provider's radar. Sharing this video might help them understand, first of all, what their symptoms are coming from. Secondly, what lab tests and what tests to ask their doctor to order. And then thirdly, what to do to reverse their severe PCOS symptoms. All right, guys, thanks so much. I'm going to put links down below to more keto resources so you can learn more about this diet that will reverse your PCOS symptoms. And I'm going to put a link to the research so you can actually read this for yourself so there's no misunderstanding. This is Dr. Barry. I'll see you next time.